Hello and thanks for joining me for another review. Today we've got a beer from the Old Dairy. Now I haven't reviewed a beer from these guys for years. I used to really enjoy their cask beers back in the day. We used to get them a lot locally, this brewery. Don't really see them maybe so much these days. I think they're still getting around in Wetherspoons a little bit, but apart from that, I haven't seen them on cask for a long time. Always rated their beers, very trad kind of brewery. I've always enjoyed them when I've had them. So this is Old Dairy Brewery in a can. So this is their chocolate and coconut brown ale, 5.2% ABV. So a 440ml can. Yeah, interesting one. So a big shout out and thank you to my good friend Simon for the beer. There's a lot of crap on top of this. Should have cleaned it out really. Can we do it? Yeah, we can do it. I'll just clean the top out. Okay, I should have looked at that before I pressed the old record button, but it is what it is. Yeah, I've had this beer a little while. So it's actually my fourth beer of the day. So, get in. That'll do. Most of the gunk's at the top part of the can there. So anyway, that'll do. So yeah, a brown ale. Thought, that sounds interesting. Let's give that a whirl. So, ooh, big hiss on the opening. Is it going anywhere? Yeah, maybe a little bit. Let me just make sure. A little bit, not too bad. Just coming out the top of the can there. There's a bit of carbonation there in this. Oh yeah, look at that. Carbonated. And it's been at room temperature. It's not been in the fridge or anything like that. So yeah, this is really carbonated. So beers they do. Look at that. I'm going to leave that settle a bit. Beers they do then like blue top, red top, they're the kind of general beers, you know, and then they do things like winter top, which is a seasonal, summer top, and there's a few other bits and bats that I've had in the past, but really enjoyable beer. So this beer, yeah, it's well carbonated. It was a very easy, gentle pour. It's a finger and a half of lightly tan coloured, well, it's off-white if you like, really tightly packed bubbles, but underneath it's dark. It's actually looking quite black on camera, but it's not. When I've got the light behind it this side, it's like a let's say ruby, like mahogany brown if you like. Let's give it a swirl and a sniff then. It's almost like coming across a slight kind of nutty edge to it. Walnut, definitely picking up a chocolate vibe there. I don't know if it's cacao nibs or they got in this or what. It just says a luxurious chocolatey brown ale with notes of coconut. I'm not really getting too much coconut, maybe a whiff. For me it's all about the chocolate in this. So water, malted barley, hops, oats, chocolate, coconut, lactose, yeast, wheat. So it's got a bit of sweetness in there from the lactose. Not coming across major sweet, but it's just more about the chocolate in this, whether it's chocolate malt, I would assume. That you would have said cacao nibs, I would think. Yeah, interesting. It's gone down a bit now to about a finger worth ahead, so cheers. Oh, it's really carbonated. What? Nice lace in there. Sweet at the front end. Getting that chocolate vibe. As I said, whether it's cacao nibs or chocolate malt, not too sure. Lactose is following in now, obviously. A little bit drying, a little bit almost like cocoa powder. It's a 5.2, so the body's not going to be crazy thick or anything like that. Let's just try and get a little bit more in without the head going crazy. It's still going a little bit nuts, but that'll do. Don't have too many. You don't see too many brown ales, especially in bars and stuff. You very rarely see this kind of style of beer, which I quite enjoy. This is really creamy now on top of the beer, almost like a mousse. Yeah, that carbonation could have just toned down a little bit, I'd say. There's hints of coconut. It's a little bit like the aroma. It's there, but you just want. I always find with coconut beer or a beer with coconut in, you always seem to want more. For me, that the chocolate is over the top of the coconut. And there's notes of it, and it says notes of coconut. And that's pretty much what it is. It's just the odd note. You can feel the carbonation on the tongue when you take a mouthful. So there you can feel it bubbling. You can hear it. Cocoa powder, not crazy amounts, just a little bit. It's a little bit drying. There is that kind of. There's a slight burnt brown sugar there, giving off a sweetness, which is the lactose. As I say, I don't know what other ingredients they've used. Whether there's carapils potentially in this. It's smooth, it's clean. It's not bad. It's really. I'm more impressed to try it. It's one of them. I was like, my friend said, "Oh, he had a load of beers lined up in his kitchen." Good friend Simon. He said, "I'll just take one." I was like, "Oh, that sounds good." So yeah, it's the first beer I've had from. As I say, Old Dairy, and they did have a is it Cattle Shed, which was their craft beer arm. I don't know if that's part of this or what the deal is there, but it's actually got Old Dairy actually on the can. It's one of them slightly raised labels as well, which I kind of like. Yeah, it's calmed down a little bit now. I don't know if there's any floaties or anything. I'm trying to pour it careful. Doesn't appear to be. As you can see, look, foam. See, it's just quite foamy. One more taste then. Yeah, it's subtle. Brown sugar, it's sweet. Not quite so much delivery on the coconut. It was a bit, when it said notes of coconut, I'm like, well, you can normally tell. There is a little bit of booziness to it, which is surprising for a 5.2, but it's definitely. Oh, this is whether it's the the carbonation doing that, making it a bit heavy on the belly. Maybe, I don't know. It's coming across certainly an upper end of a medium body as well. But yeah. Decent. Not blowing me away, but it's decent. Be nice to try some draft. Or on cask would be even better. But I don't know about whether this is available on whatever, obviously can, but draft or cask, be nice to try it. There was a best before date, the 14th of March of 2022, so with plenty of time there. So these guys are out of Tenterden in West Kent, and yeah, I think I've got a little playlist for this brewery. I have to check down below if I have. I'll put a link down below. But yeah, so this is Old Dairy's chocolate and coconut brown ale at 5.2%. Check them out. Decent. So let me know if I've had this one before or any other of their craft range. I think it's Cattle Shed. Yeah, nice stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching then. You take care, and I'll see you on the next review. Cheers.